Welcome to Milers Mods, ladies and gentlemen. So, I finished the plunger tube modification to the X-Shot Pro. Okay, it's a really simple modification to do. This is actually one of the tubes. I actually ordered two of these. To do the modification, it's a one-to-one drop-in part. So you can't get much easier than that. What I also noticed, though, is that when I installed this part in my blaster, I had to put in slightly larger O-rings, so that way I would get a better seal. To me, the seal felt too loose, and I like a nice airtight seal. So like I said, the only thing I did different was I just dropped in larger O-rings as well when I did my plunger tube modification, and it is a one-to-one drop-in part. This plunger tube I got here came from Frontline Foam. Now this blaster shoots really nice. It has a lot of pop to it. Because it has a really tight air shell. I'll give you a firing demo, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about plunger tubes. All right, like I said, blaster functions great. It does like 260, 270 on standard Generation 3 darts, okay? On bamboos, you get over 300 easily, which is awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about plunger tubes. Okay, this is the stock tube that came with the X-Shot. And yeah, it's not cracked or anything like that. It's just in rough shape. Okay? Now, people were getting X-Shot blasters and they had cracked plunger tubes. So some guys were going out and they were buying exhaust pipe for plunger tubes. Well, keep this in mind. I'm an automotive mechanic. I've been a mechanic since '07. So I can definitely speak on this with some knowledge. This is the type of exhaust pipe that they were using. Now, if you look right here, there's a line on that exhaust pipe.
It's welded.
Yeah, it's welded. The weld goes all the way through to the other side. I don't know how well you can see it, ladies and gentlemen. The weld goes through the other side, too. Now, there is no way to smooth out this plunger tube. Okay, if you want to use this thing as a plunger tube, by all means, you do whatever you want. I don't care. But there's no way to make this thing 100% as smooth as glass, as smooth as this, or as smooth as this. Okay? And like I said, you can do whatever you want, but to me, this was a temporary fix for some people, and it worked. But one of the other problems that they ran into is that the way exhaust pipe is made. Aside from the weld in it, which you really cannot smooth out no matter what you do. Me and my shop foreman, we tried for 3 hours on just a scrap piece of exhaust pipe to get it really smooth, and we couldn't do it. And we were using all manners of mechanical tools to try to do it. Sandpaper, grinders, whatever we could think of to try to smooth it out. We could not get it to be perfect. Which is fine. But like I said, with the X-Shot, with tubes from Frontline Foam, these tubes are slightly bigger in inner diameter. That's why I had to upgrade my seals, to take up for that. But because the tube's slightly bigger on the inner diameter, it's not bigger by much, but it's just a little bit, to where you have to put in bigger O-rings. So put in bigger O-rings. But when people use things like this, which, again, you can use whatever you want, I won't ever use anything like this just because I know better. And I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing or whatever, but just my 2 cents on this, I would never use something like this. Because you want a plunger tube to be very smooth. Ideally, plunger tubes are made out of one of 3 materials. They're usually made out of like a polycarb, aluminum, or brass, or sometimes even steel. It just depends. But if it's a steel plunger tube, it's not going to be a welded tube at all. Okay, it's going to be as smooth as glass, and that's what you want with a plunger tube, is to be as smooth as glass. But like I said, the modifications to the X-Shot Pro are now complete, so I can officially put this one in the books. But that's my take on plunger tubes. If you're going to replace a plunger tube,
Do it right.
Right. Don't use one of these, because when people were also using these, they also, some of them were having to cut the shell a little bit, and that always weakens the blaster as well. So, but like I said, if you're gonna do something, there's no half measures in life. You know what I'm saying? It's either all or none at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're looking for good plunger tubes, you can buy these plunger tubes anywhere. You can get them at Frontline. You can get them at Silver Fox. Even there's even a couple places on Etsy from like Singapore that are selling them. I think Saber Blasters might be selling these too, because I sent them a couple X Shot Pros a couple days ago. So who knows? But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my discussion on the X Shot Pro plunger tube situation, and I'll put a buy link in the description below for the tube that I got from Frontline. Until next time, this is Miller's Mods signing off.